board will reconvene coming back from closed session. I think just one note, Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. joined us at approximately 6:55, and nothing else to report at this time. Oh, I'm sorry, 5:55. Correct, 5:55. 5:55, all right. Nothing else to report out from closed session. All right. So go to item G, comments from the public. Board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any other item of district business that is not on the agenda. I see two comments. First comment, Ms. Romo. I don't think so. Ms. Romo, one moment. Can we maybe switch mics, or is it on? All right, okay.
Que vuelvan a empezar los 3 minutos. Ay. Me deben 20. Muy bien. Good evening again. My name is Gloria Romo, 706 Armendaris, Calexico, California. Muy buenas tardes. Todas las personas que se encuentran aquí, las que están en público, igualmente, señoras, señoritas, jóvenes. De nuevo estamos aquí, compañeros, amigos, directores de la mesa directiva del Distrito Escolar de Calexico, por el asunto del joven David Guerrero. Quiero que sepan que, pues, lamentablemente la carta todavía no ha sido contestada. Recordarán que yo les dejé una copia de la misma. Era muy sencillo de contestar, inclusive si no tenían contestación, algo que ya pasó, como por ejemplo, donde de la Constitución de los Estados Unidos dice que no se debe de hablar el español o cosas así con lo que dice la carta. Son 6 preguntas que yo creo que pueden ser contestadas. No creo que necesiten a un abogado ni pagar a un abogado para contestar esta carta. Es algo que ya pasó, en mi humilde opinión, y no se le dio contestación. Entonces, la otra que se presentó, que lo que tiene 60 días para contestar, digo, estamos en lo mismo. Yo sé que los abogados van a hacer alguna contestación al respecto, y por otro lado, nosotros también, por el lado de nuestros abogados, vamos a hacer algo próximamente. Pero esta carta sí, y yo creo que, compañeros, debemos de darle respeto a la gente. ¿Quiénes son nuestros clientes del distrito escolar que tanto queremos? Pues son los estudiantes. ¿Y quiénes son los que están atrás de los estudiantes? Pues son los padres de familia. Y yo creo que los padres de familia tienen el derecho, pues, de estar aquí. Véanlos, a ustedes siguen estando aquí y van a seguir hasta que no se esclarezca esto y se pide las disculpas, que me imagino que en su momento lo mínimo que se van a poder dar, porque esto lamentablemente ya pasó. Pero lo que quieren tanto la señora Guerrero como su hijo es que esto no se vuelva a repetir nunca, y creo que también nos ayuda a nosotros como directores que somos de alguna institución. En este caso ya no soy de aquí, pero soy de otra organización también importante de salud, y yo creo que nos debemos a la gente, la que paga los impuestos, la que recibe nuestros servicios. Yo le suplico de la manera más atenta aquí presente al superintendente interino, que tanto aprecio, Carlos, que fueras tan gentil y tan amable de poder contestar estas preguntas. No es una cosa del otro mundo. Vamos dándole seguimiento a las cosas, ¿verdad? ¿Para qué decir que no nos quisieron contestar algo tan sencillo? Yo creo que ustedes ya lo leyeron, y la súplica es, como jefes ustedes del distrito escolar, ¿verdad?, que le pudieran decir a nuestro superintendente, que sé que lo hará en su momento, que nos conteste la carta tan sencilla que le escribimos, y con eso vamos a seguir procediendo, y pues esto no cabe aquí. Eso era todo, y mucha suerte para todo lo que viene y los nuevos empleados que van a tener que contratar y los que ya están, y lo mismo le deseo lo mejor a este distrito escolar, como siempre. Gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Romo. Our second speaker, David Guerrero.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is David Guerrero. I'm a graduate from the class of 2018, and I'm here for the 3rd time to address a problem that means a lot to me, and that I really think that it should not be tolerated again against any kid here, especially here. Todo esto empezó en junio 18, cuando di la queja formal aquí, y hasta la fecha no he recibido ninguna respuesta. Incluso cuando pedí explícitamente en una carta unas preguntas muy simples acerca de cómo fui discriminado por la vice principal de la Calexico High School. Son preguntas simples, son preguntas de cómo la discriminación pudo ser evitada, cómo se prueba que las acciones que tomó la señora Alba Zazueta fueron discriminatorias ante mí y ante cualquier otra persona que lo hubiera hecho, mi Zazueta. En verdad, pienso que la señora, no sé si veré el nombre, pero la señora Williams me prometió una investigación antes de decir esto, antes de afirmar los speakers de graduation. Bueno, no sé si se acuerdan de mi problema, pero el problema fue que me discriminaron para dar mi speech at graduation. Me prometió que iba a hacer una investigación y nunca me respondió. Hasta la fecha no le ha llamado ni a mi madre ni a mí ninguna respuesta. Y algunas de la investigación que pudo haber hecho se pueden responder fácilmente en estas preguntas, lo que me da a entender que ninguna investigación se ha hecho, ni de parte de Miss Williams ni de parte de nadie más. Y en verdad pienso que no está bien. Es un acto que está increíblemente intolerado alrededor de los Estados Unidos y en cualquier otro lugar. Y en verdad pienso que esto se debería de tratar con mayor atención, gracias, porque no se debe tolerar. Y nadie más debería de pasar por esto y espero que no. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, David. Any more? No? Okay. All right, thank you. No more comments from the public. We'll continue with item H. This is the consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion unless any items pulled for separate consideration and action.
So moved.
Here's a motion by Mr. Romero to approve consent items, second by Mr. Calderon Jr. There's no discussion, right? All right, all those in favor? Aye, motion passes. Mr. Romero, aye. Mr. Ciro Calderon, aye. Mr. Lorenzo Calderon, aye. Myself, aye. Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to item I, informational items. I-1, Mr. Gonzalez.
All right, good evening, trustees, community members. So just an update, summer school program ended today. We want to thank all of our staff for providing such an excellent summer school experience for our students. I did receive an email from a parent who is also an educator who wanted to give kudos to the summer school team for providing an excellent experience. One of the experiences her children went through was the coding programs, which are used to create roads for robots. Another one was very impressed with the science projects and talked about how a lot of outside the box thinking and solving engineering problems. So just wanted to mention that her children love the summer school program and just was very impressed by it. Pathway at Enrique Camarena Junior High School, the county has delivered and donated some gravel, which we are building a pathway, and I just want to make sure the board understands that we are under construction at this point. So the path is being formed. There's borders that are going to be placed. The great thing about it is that it's going to provide a pathway for our students. There is no pathway currently. They have to go on the dirt. And so when it rains, they actually have to go through the street, which creates a safety issue. So what this is going to do is it's going to create a pathway which is a safer route into the school. And if it does rain, then we'll be able to have our students walk on the path without having to walk on the mud. And I do want to thank Mr. John Renison, our County Board Supervisor, District 1. He was very supportive in making this happen. Pool update. Just want to, give the board an update that the community, opening the community to the pool has been very successful. Want to thank the Heffernan Board, Ms. Romo, for that support. Also, the city as well has been working on promoting the events and the activities, and we actually have another family pool night scheduled for next Friday from 5 to 9 p.m. But the pool is open every day, Monday through Thursday, from 5 to 8 p.m. for open swim, and from 8 to 9 p.m. for water aerobics. So just want to mention that it's just great for the community that the pool has been open, and it's just been a lot of entities working together to make that happen. Modernization of Calexico High School, the 2 trailers that were board approved at the last board meeting to be removed have been removed. So that has expanded now the parking lot, and which will allow the buses to make a straight line as opposed to having to vertically go into the parking lot. Perfect attendance for our students in our SPED program. Today, I want to thank Mr. Price, our Director of Special Education, and his staff. We had a number of students with perfect attendance. They were given either a bicycle, a scooter, or skateboards. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Price, when he was a teacher, 2 of his ex-students are now professional skaters. And so thank you, Mr. Price, for reaching out to those ex-students, and also want to thank Mr. Lorenzo Calderon for being present, for recognizing our students for their perfect attendance in summer school. There is a copy of the governance calendar that we left for you. It has the timelines, just as a refresher as far as what are some of the upcoming, business and activities of the district, so you are aware. And also left for your review a draft of the governance handbook that we worked on July the 6th, 2018 at the board self-evaluation meeting. So there's a hard copy for you for your review, and we can bring that at a later board meeting for discussion and for approval. Upcoming events, just to let the board and the community know, August is right around the corner. August 6th and 7th, we will have Will Richardson be training our administrative team. We will be having administrators from Heber, from Brawley Unified, Union High School District, and we will be having administrators from the Imperial County Office of Education also join in our training with Will Richardson. August 8th, we will be having district-wide escape and frontline training for all of our staff, just to make sure that we're prepared and ready for the new school year with our new programs. August the 9th, we will be having a leadership meeting here at the district office for our administrators from 8 to 1:30. AXA Welcome Back will also be held on the same date from 2 to 4:30. That will take place in Heber this year. And we will be having a board meeting as well at 5 o'clock here in the boardroom. August 17th is our very first home football game here at our Ward Field. We will be playing against the Kearney Comets, which I believe are from San Diego. So we're hoping that we have field court advantage, especially in the month of August. We have our new teacher orientation, which will be taking place on August 21st. August 22nd, we have our first day back for our teachers. August 23rd, we will have our district-wide professional development. We do have a keynote speaker, Pernell Rip, and we will be having various sessions and training our staff. That August 23rd. August 24th, we do have teacher check-in. We do have CSEA orientation as well. And our attendance clerks will be trained on SARB training. And then finally, the big day is August the 27th. That's our first day of school. And students will be released at 12 o'clock that day. Thank you.
Carlos, I don't know if you mentioned it, but publicly thank Mr. John Renison for the material that he provided.
Correct.
For us. And also, if you want to explain to the public also the lighting for CM Perry, he was also instrumental in that. So.
Correct. I did give the board an update, and I don't have the pictures with me, but Mr. Renison was instrumental in making sure that we did have representatives from Caltrans. At one of the meetings that we attended, Mr. Calderon was present. We had Chief Gerardo was also present as well. We had, I think it was Lieutenant Serrano was present. We had from the transportation agency, I believe it was Mr. I don't want to say Mr. Baca and get it wrong.
I believe so.
Then we have Mr. John Gray was also present as well from the county, but the meeting was a very productive meeting. One of the concerns that the district has had is the crossing over on C.N. Perry, crossing from C.N. Perry 98. That is very dangerous for our students and for our community because we have a lot of semi-trucks that pass through there, cars are speeding. So one of the discussions was, well, how can we make sure that we resolve this? And so by resolving it, they're going to be putting those speed markers with flashing lights. So that way, as you start getting close, you will first be signaled with the flashing lights that, hey, there's a crosswalk here. And second, the actual speed will be indicated to tell you how fast that you're traveling. So that's the first one. That will be installed by the first day of school. So Caltrans is working on that, and that will be at no cost to the district. The second one, which is the one that we were pursuing initially, if they couldn't put a stop sign or if they couldn't put a signal light, is they're going to put a beacon. And you've probably seen these at Imperial Avenue in El Centro by Burgers and Beer and the DMV. And so what those are is, as a pedestrian gets ready to cross the busy street or road or highway, whatever it may be, they press a button and then the beacon starts flashing. So everybody knows that somebody is getting ready to cross. They also have one over at Southwest High School as well. So the beauty of it is there is road work that is being done close to Rockwood Elementary School. And since that road work is being done, then Caltrans is going to be able to install those beacons free. In other words, there will be no cost to the district. That will take a little bit longer. I think the projection is 2019, but it is coming. And so I think that's great news. And again, like Mr. Calderon mentioned, Mr. Renison was a big part of making sure that to facilitate the conversation and to make sure that those changes happen. So we will definitely be seeing a safer crossing there at the corner of C.M. Perry and 98.
Do I need to go up there, or can I ask a question from here, just pertaining to that? Would you like me to come up to the record?
Yeah, we can get you all.
Well, it's just a simple comment, but, Victor Carrillo, 2156 R. Carrillo Court here in Calexico. In reference to Highway 98 and C.M. Perry, that intersection that's utilized during the school day with crossing guards, when you put in this technology and these materials, it's not going to be at the expense of a crossing guard where they lose their employment for that. Will it, or will it be just to enhance the safety, and you'll still have a crossing person or two there that provides the crossing from one side of C.M. Perry to the other, from the west to the east, and from the south to the north and vice versa?
So that's a good question, Mr. Carrillo. It would be to enhance, no different than we have crossing guards at our current intersections at this point. We want to make sure that our children, cross safely from one end to the other. We do understand that, even where there's crosswalks, where there's intersections and we have red light, we still need an adult, especially for Highway 98, to make sure that our, students are crossing safely from one end to the other.
And just a little background history, because Highway 98 was built to connect Yuma, Arizona with San Diego, and that was the northernmost boundary of the city of Calexico back through the 40s and 50s and early 60s, before housing started crossing Highway 98. The state has always looked at highways as being signal light free or stretches of time. Heber has had problems with State Highway 86 that goes through Heber to get signal lights there on which they consider their main street. And that's why it's been difficult for 98 to get signal lights, like with Eduardo Rivera. We worked with Manuel Perez when he was the state assemblyman to get those signal lights put in. And then further west, beyond the post office going towards Cloquy, where you have Moreno and Blank Charles and the alternative high school or continuation high school, etc. So kudos to your group and your administration in bringing all these parties together and establishing that positive coordination for, you know, to enhance the safety of our school children. So thank you. That was all my comment.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero. Anything else, Mr. Gonzalez? On your
No,
report?
that's all.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Let's continue with item I2. This would be Measure V update. Anything to report?
No, just that the latest, as far as construction, is the parking lot, which I mentioned. The 2 trailers have been removed, and the expansion is already taking place.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item I3, association comments. Anything from ACT? Seeing none. Anything from CSEA? Seeing none, let's move on to item I4, board reports. These are informational reports by board members, no actions taken. Mr. Romero.
I just want to congratulate our culinary team that competed at the national level, and I believe they placed silver. They got silver, right? So, I mean, that's an awesome job.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ciro Calderon?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our meeting. Same thing, like Mr. Romero says, congratulations to those kids and the staff for providing these opportunities for our kids. This is what we're here for, to make sure that our kids have the best tools necessary when they graduate high school. They can do as they please and have the tools that they need to succeed. Also, I went to Cesar Chavez today, and last day of summer school. It was very nice. The kids were very, very. I don't think the kids realize how hot it gets outside, because regardless of whether it's 78 or 108, they play. So I stay in my car and I watch them play outside. I didn't get out. Thank you for the staff. I don't know if any staff from summer school, but thank you for doing this job. I know they sometimes they lose on their summer. They lose time with their families, but they have a commitment to our kids, to our district. So thank you for doing this. I also went to Dual to watch the migrant program, and again, very good staff, very good things going on in our programs, and we have a happy rest of the summer for those that today was their last day of work during the summer. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Calderon Jr.?
Good evening. I have no comment.
Thank you. Just quickly, I just want to say, I think, we've always talked about technology, instructional technology, teaching and learning. I think we're kind of poised at a good point. Seeing what was happening in summer school, hearing about it, I think the commitment from the board about the direction. I believe there's probably some trips we've talked about that are pretty close to being settled and set. So I think, I'm excited about the potential of what's happening here in the district, between what the students are doing, what staff can do, and what we can do as a whole in the district. I had a chance to stop by Cesar Chavez as well, their last day, talk to Mr. Avina and the kids. Also at that time was also teachers. They were doing their book study, right, on innovation, technology, classroom. So it was nice to hear a group about 15 teachers, and a student even was there, talking about what what could be done with education, where they'd like to see things go. Very exciting to see that these practices are continuing even over the summer, when they have a lot of other things they could be doing. I do want to thank the board as well, and just mention the board retreat we had 2 Saturdays ago, looking at our board governance, our practices, recognizing the board because it was a commitment and all 5 board members were there. And that just says it's kind of a strong voice for where the district board wants to go and our commitment there. Last thing I'll mention, attendance with Mr. Price. That just reminded me about attendance and certainly a special needs population in the district, and also looking at attendance overall for the district as well. And I'll ask in the future, Mr. Gonzalez, if we can look at monitoring our attendance as we've been doing per site. Looking at that information, we know attendance, if kids aren't in school, they're not learning, and that certainly that seat time is going to help them better prepare for promoting, graduating, preparing for college or career. So let's continue to monitor that attendance piece, and also maybe feedback for the board on the A2A program. What difference is that making for us? That's the attendance program, SAR program. We invested in that about a year ago. and let's see if that's helping us with this area. And I'll just say thank you again, the board calendar. We've talked about this for quite a while, and thank you for bringing it back to our attention, keeping it in front of us. This is our roadmap for us as we agreed upon and keeping us on track. So I'll leave it at that. Let's move on to item J. This would be action items, consideration and action approval on the following items. We'll start with J1. This is agreement renewal between the Calexico Unified School District and Asset Works LC for inventory and management services.
I move we approve.
Motion by Mr. Romero for approval. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Ciro Calderon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes unanimous. Ms. Burgos? Enough? You got 4-0? All right, let's move on to J2. This would be agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Franklin Covey for the Leader in Me coaching system and professional development training on the 21st century leadership and life skills for the 2018-19 school year.
I move we approve.
So motion by Mr. Romero. Second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Let's move on to item J3. This would be the agreement for the Calexico Unified School District and AVID College School Readiness System Services and products for elementary foundation implementation training.
I'll move to approve.
I just have a question. Is this already in existence or is it a new program?
It's in existence. We are using the AVID program and strategies district-wide. So this is particularly targeted to K2.
So it's going down.
Correct.
There, I believe there's a motion by Mr. Ciro Calderon,
Second.
a second by Mr. Calderon Jr. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. Item J5, service agreement between the Calexico Unified School District and ALAS Media for professional development services for August 23rd, 2018.
Move to approve.
Well, I like.
We need some,
Right. So there's always an agreement when you do AVID, specifically to the different school sites that you will be getting the services. And in this case, there, for example, we have Blanche Charles, we have Calexico High School, Cesar Chavez, Dual School, Enrique Camarena, Jefferson, Kennedy, Mains, Rockwood, and William Moreno Junior High School. So basically, all the schools are under AVID, getting the support from the program.
there was a motion by Mr. Ciro Calderon, second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. Let's go on to item J6. This would be a memorandum of understanding between the Calexico Unified School District and the Imperial County Office of Education Consortium Teacher Induction Program for 2000.
J5.
All right, let's go back to J5.
Yeah.
All right. This would be a service agreement between the Calexico Unified School District and Atlas Media? Okay, J4.
No, we did J4.
We're in J5, you're right.
The J5.
Yeah, I know, we did J3 and J4.
They've been done.
Yes.
Okay.
So you are on J5. We are on J5.
J5?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Alice.
J5, service agreement, the Calexico Unified School District and ALAS Media for Professional Development Services for August 23rd, 2018.
Carlos, we've done this before?
So what this is to provide professional development for the August professional development date that we have for the teachers, and we do bring consultants in to provide additional training in very specific areas. So that's what we're doing. We're bringing in a very specific consultant to train our staff.
But I never heard of this Alas.
This is a new one. It is a new one,
Okay.
correct.
All right.
It also had, that it was gonna take approximately 50 teachers.
What
Train
it,
approximately 50 teachers, and my question is, how are you gonna select these teachers?
so the way it works is for the staff development, it's very flexible, and our teachers love it because they get to choose where they want to go. And so what it is it's 3 workshops that will be provided throughout the day. And so our teachers know of this particular trainer and this training. So I can guarantee you that it's going to be a full house. Yeah.
Motion?
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Cito Calderon, second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. No other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. So we're now at item J6,
Yes.
right? Correct, okay. J6, this would be a memorandum of understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education, Consortium Teacher Induction Program 2018-19 school year. Any-
So we bring this one to the board every single year, and it's for our teachers that have a preliminary credential, so that way they can clear their credential. And it's a great incentive to get some of our new teachers that come on board.
I move to approve.
I heard a motion from Mr. Calderon
I'll
Jr.
second.
Or Mr. Romero.
Yeah, Romero and myself.
Okay, motion from Mr. Romero, second from Mr. Calderon Jr. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. Item J7. This would be a memorandum of understanding between the Calexico Unified School District and the Mexican Consulate in Calexico to support financial literacy workshops for parents in the district as part of the family literacy component of assets.
Correct. So the Mexican consulate has been very generous in donating money to the district, and it's geared very specifically for a reason. And so through the Assets program, we'll be providing our parents support financial literacy workshops and then also family literacy as well to our parents.
So it's being conducted in all those schools?
There's specific sites, I believe, that are selected.
Do you know
and
which ones? And just for the public, so they can know where to go if
Yeah.
they want to take advantage of.
So is that- Am I correct in saying that they're invited to those sites from any school?
They're invited from any site, and I understand what you're saying, Mr. Calderon, where specifically those will be. I don't have that information, but it is communicated out to all of our parents district-wide where that specific workshop is being held.
Okay. Well, if we could put something in our website.
Sure.
It would help.
We should.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I move we approve.
Second.
So motion by Mr. Romero, second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. Any other discussion? I'll call for motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. Moving on to item J8. This is a memorandum of understanding between the Calexico Unified School District and the Imperial County Office of Education to provide professional development services on writing to the staff at Our Lady of Guadalupe Academy.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Cito Calderon, second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. Next one, J9, right? This is a memorandum of understanding between the Calexico Unified School District and the Imperial County Office of Education to provide professional development services on social studies to the staff at Our Lady of Guadalupe Academy.
So moved.
Second.
So motion by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr., second by Mr. Cito Calderon. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Romero, did you have a
Yes.
question, or you, okay,
You mentioned Our Lady, but isn't that number?
it's
There's-
both.
There's
Nine?
two.
There's
Both.
JA and J9.
Okay,
So Mr. Romero?
yes.
Yes, okay. It's a yes by Romero, Calderon Jr., Cito, Lorenzo Calderon Jr., myself, 4-0. Motion passes. Moving on to item J10. This is a memorandum of understanding between the Calexico Unified School District and the Imperial County Office of Education to provide professional development services on instructional strategies to the staff at the Calexico Mission School.
Move to approve. Oh, second.
So motion by Mr. Cito, or Lorenzo Calderon Jr., second by Cito Calderon. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. J11, this is a memorandum of understanding between the Calexico Unified School District and the Imperial County Office of Education to provide professional development to our English intervention teachers on foundational skills.
Move to approve.
Well, I'd like, what, just to do professional development in English learning?
Right, these are our ELA teachers that are specifically at the elementary that do the targeted instruction for our EL students. So this professional development is geared specifically for them.
Second.
All right, there's a motion by Mr. Romero, a second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. Right?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 4-0. All right, item J12. memorandum of understanding between the Calexico Unified School District and the Imperial County Office of Education for professional development for secondary primary language instruction teachers on best practices to support the academic language.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ciro Calderon, second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0.
And just for clarification, all these supports that we're providing to these private institutions is not because we want, well, that's not that we don't want to, but it's because by law, we have to provide support to these institutions in our city.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
just for the
They're
pub- just-
entitled because of
they're-
the
yes.
funding.
Yes,
Yeah.
so just for the public, just so the public knows.
Correct.
Okay. We'll continue with item J13. This is an MOU between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education for professional development for secondary structured English immersion teachers on best practices to support academic language instruction in English.
Motion to approve.
A motion by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr.,
Second.
second by Ciro Calderon. All right, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. All right, let's go to J14. This would be the Ward Field PA speaker system, options, selection of provider. Mr. Gonzalez?
Right, so we brought this one to the board at one time, and the board requested that we go out and get additional bids. So we did, and Mr. Nielsen can go into more detail on that if the board has additional questions. We've only had two. The additional quote that we received, one is from A&N Quality Builders, and that quote came in at $65,000. The scope of the work is exactly what the scope of the work will be for, the previous quote that we had received from Standard Electronics. On the positive note, with Standard Electronics, the quote came in less. It came in at $46,730. I believe it was at $56,000 or $57,000 before, and that is how much was budgeted. And so what we're doing is bringing back to the board, two quotes. We have not been able to get any additional quotes. And so what we are recommending is that the board approved initially our recommendation of moving forward with Standard Electronics to install the amplifiers, the speakers, the microphones, the wireless microphones, the Bluetooth input, the mixer, the cabinets, and all the cabling. And so that is our recommendation at this point.
Go
If,
ahead. Oh, well,
go ahead,
continue.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It came way under.
Yeah.
And that's, I voted yes for this when it first came before us. And the only reason that I'm speaking out now is that I'm a bit concerned because it's $11,000 less. And it's good because that's taxpayers' money. My only question to Jeremy would be if they're actually taking some of the items that they had listed before, or is it the same?
That's a good question, and Jeremy will be
Yeah,
able to.
because I don't, see, what we're finding ourselves here, we approve these contracts, and then we come back with a change order that we were, didn't look at this or didn't look at that, and that's why I want to make sure, because the other bid came in at $62,000. So I understand that, and I just want to make sure that we're getting our money's worth for $11,000 less.
Yes, we are. It's the exact same quote that came in prior to that. What was explained to me by the gentleman at Standard Electronics is this stuff can fluctuate as far as the cost goes. I also told him to sharpen his pencil a little bit. Let's get this going and make it work. So he did. He sharpened his pencil and got us a better
because
deal.
this was brought to us back Mexican's Mother's Day on the 10th.
Back in May.
So, all right, well, I have no other.
It is
We're
the-
getting
it-
the same materials, same
So
quality
it's the
work.
exact same system, but an updated version as what Calipatria has.
Right. That's what I'm-
So
Well, I
it's-
motion, do you have any question?
Well, I was just going to say, is this, if we approve tonight, is this going to be ready for our first game?
well, we're gonna
Because
try.
we have our unofficial announcement here, and he's the one that's gonna have
We
to
can
try
give
it
him
out.
a megaphone.
So is it gonna be ready for them to broadcast our games?
That's our guideline. That's our goal,
Okay,
is to
this
have
is-
it up by the 17th, so.
So the last time we brought this item, the installation is actually very quick. I think it was a matter of 5 to 7 days.
Right.
The one piece that would take the longest is the cables to arrive. And so I know we're gonna push to see and have them expedited and, delivered as soon as possible, because that's what takes the longest. I think the delivery of the dates last time was up to maximum 20 days.
Yeah.
So we're kind of within that window. We don't want to guarantee, but like Jeremy says, we'll definitely push so that it does get installed by the first game on August 17th.
Oh,
It doesn't impact us because we broadcast on
Yeah.
radio. It's the public addressing us.
exactly.
And season starts August 17th, which is 3 weeks earlier than previous seasons with the game. And that's just, and so how attendance will be, because school won't start till 2 weeks later. So, whether you have a capacity crowd or a sparse crowd.
We won't remove what we put up for graduation until we're ready to install the new stuff, so.
All right.
And, yeah, motion, I motion to,
The standard proposal,
Clarify which one.
that's your motion.
oh, the standard one.
Yeah, okay,
The 46,000 one,
right.
yeah.
Okay,
There's
thank
a
you.
motion by Mr. Calderon Jr. To approve the standard
Yeah.
proposal. There's a second by Cito Calderon. Any other discussion or question? Call, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Let's move on to item J15. This will be the rejection of claim, Luisa Melendres versus Calexico Unified School District.
Right, there was a claim that was filed against the district for a lost item, but because of the amount, we're asking the board to deny it, so that way the insurance carrier can pick it up.
Move to approve.
Second.
The motion by Cito Calderon, second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. Any other question, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion 4-0. Passes. Let's go on to item J16. This is a provisional internship permit for Lucia, Jeanette, Vargas for the 2018-19 school year.
Right, so we have a vacancy in the area of special ed, and the county did a credential evaluation and determined that Ms. Vargas qualifies for a PIP, provisional internship permit. So we're bringing it to the board for approval.
Move to approve.
So motion by Cito Calderon. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Romero. Any other questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to item J18. This would be a variable 17? All right, J17. Variable term waivers for certificated personnel, speech pathologists for the 2018-2019 school year.
So we have a list of teachers that are helping support us in the area of speech pathologists. Probably one of the positions which is incredibly difficult to find. And so we're lucky enough that we have quite a few credentialed teachers that want to help us out and be speech pathologists. They are working on their own credential to be fully cleared speech pathologists. In the meantime, though, there's a need for a variable term waivers for these teachers.
Carlos, how many times was this position flown, and where was it flown? And
I know we have Mr. Dennis Price here. It was flown, and problem was that we did not receive any candidates that had actual credentials. So the recommendation from the team was to hire those teachers that met the minimum qualifications as set by CTC, the commission, that they would qualify for a waiver. And that's why, like I mentioned, we were lucky enough that we have our own teachers that want to, teach outside of their credential area.
Any other
I
questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
So motion by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr., second by Ciro Calderon. No other discussion? Question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Romero, did I hear you?
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aye.
So motion passes 4-0. Item J18. This will be, again, a variable term waivers for certificated personnel, English learner authorizations for 2018-2019 school year.
Right. This is staff that is working to clear their credential, and in the meantime, they're working on an EL authorization. In the meantime, they can teach. They just need a waiver for the actual EL authorization, not for a credential, for the EL authorization.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr.,
Second.
second by Mr. Romero. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to item J19, this would be the accounts payable pre-list.
I move we approve.
It's a motion by Mr. Romero, second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Item J20, this would be the resolution to sign orders for the 2018-2019 school year.
Correct. This is identifying who will be able to sign for the 2018-19 school year. So we're bringing it to the board for approval.
So it's a resolution itself.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Second.
There's a first by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr., second by Mr. Cito.
Oh, so roll
This is a roll call vote. Mr. Romero?
Yes.
Mr. Cito?
Yes.
Mr. Lorenzo?
Yes.
And it's a yes. Motion passes, or resolutions. 4-0. Moving on to item J21, certificated employment report.
So make a,
Oh, we did together. We did it together.
I'd like to make a recommendation that the board approve the certificated employment report as submitted.
So moved.
Was there gonna be an addition or two
Any
additions?
additions?
No, no additions.
Let's- Go ahead. Just for clarification here. Okay, we're good? So submitting as is?
I will be abstaining since.
Yes. So Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. stating he'll abstain as he wasn't present at the time for the discussion. Is there a motion?
I made the motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Romero,
Second.
motion to approve, second by Mr. Cito Calderon. Any other discussion? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All those abstain? We've got one. All right, thank you. Passes 3-0 with one abstention. Done with that one? Let's go on to classified. This will be J22.
I'd like to
Class-
make a, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a recommendation that the board approve the classified employment report as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Submitted by Mr. Romero, second by Cito Calderon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0 with one abstention from Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. All right, so this takes us to item K. The board will reconvene into closed session, continuing our discussion. Okay,
Still Riverside.
we're going to closed session.
Oh, okay.
All right.